What is the best beach metal detector? People are definitely getting more shopping savvy in general, but you really need to pick and choose who you take advice from. Many times people resort to asking Google. Yeah, asking Jeeves didn't work. Why are you asking Google? But that can go horribly wrong. Best Reviews Guide, 10 Best Beach Metal Detectors, 2023. They paid to get to the top of search. Oh, let's take a look. What the hell is a pancake? Sounds like a pancake. I'll agree with this. That's going to be on my list. No, really, no. Is anybody Listen. Some of these are not even beach metal detectors. So why should you listen to me? Well, I currently own 22 metal detectors, and you'll see me use each one of them on my channel. I also own the website iratemetaldetectors.com, and you could get my full opinions here. And when it comes to what's the best, I'm not going to compromise that. I'm going to go and rock with what is the best for my own hunts. Rings have feelings, and they need the company of friends. And that's a lot of pressure. Reconnecting rings with friends is pressure. But you don't only have to listen to me in this video. We took data. I did some research on YouTube. I searched for about 50 channels and that do beach metal detecting that uploaded a video in 2023, and I noted what detector that they used. I'm going to give you tallies in a moment, but the data set looks just like this. These were the 50 channels, and we're going to give you tallies. And just for the sake of the validity of the data, I'll point out a flaw. There's a lot of channels that are just like mine on YouTube that use multiple detectors because they want to know which one is the best. For instance, I had Dirtfish Mish as using the XP Deus 2, but there's other detectors that she uses. So what I did in addition to the tally was I put out a poll on my channel, and you see this got 384 votes. And the question I asked is, what is your go-to saltwater beach metal detector in 2023? And I'm going to give you all of this data in a moment, but I want you to understand the why first. What should you look for in a saltwater beach metal detector in 2023? For years, people would use what's called pulse induction metal detectors at the beach. That was until something called simultaneous multi-frequency came out. And that is a difference maker when it comes to beach metal detecting, at least in this salt. This is from discoverdetecting.com, which is a blog, and I agree with this. It is important to decide if you will be metal detecting on a fresh or saltwater beach, as not every metal detector works well in saltwater environments. Most single-frequency metal detectors will struggle with saltwater beaches and will perform to their maximum abilities in freshwater settings. Now, I'll just keep this simple. If you want to watch me use a pulse induction metal detector at the beach, click on this video right here. It will open up your eyes. I mean, I'll spare you the suspense. I think that there's better options out there today than pulse induction. Now, I've recommended detectors like the Simplex and the Xterra Pro in previous videos, and yes, they are phenomenal. You don't want them for saltwater beach detecting. You do not want single frequency. The multi-frequency, more so than any environment, it makes a bigger difference in saltwater beach. If you're hunting lake beaches, non-saltwater, freshwater beaches, that's a different story. You'll be fine with both of those detectors. But we're not even going to consider them in this video. So what does the data say? Let's start out with the poll. We just got 3 more votes on this poll. We're up to 387. The question is, what is your go-to saltwater beach metal detector in 2023? And again, the people that voted are people who watch my channel, who saw this poll. And it seems the results, Minelab Equinox came in first, followed by the Nocta Macro Legend, followed by the XP Deus 2, followed by the Minelab Manticore, and then the ancient but still highly effective Minelab Excalibur 2. Now let's go to the research that I did going to channels looking for the term beach metal detecting and putting in 2023, the videos had to happen this year. What are the experts using on YouTube? So here's the tally from the 50 random metal detecting channels from YouTube. I did a search for beach metal detecting. I made sure that the video was uploaded this year. And it seems that Minelab Equinox won again. Now keep in mind there's 4 Equinox models. There's 3 Vanquish models. My point is there's a few different models for Equinoxes. We'll get into that. And everything else is lagging. You got good numbers in the Manticore, good numbers with the XP Deus 2, and also with the Nocto Macro Legend. Now, I know there's going to be a few people that are butthurt that their favorite detector did not make the list. But you know what? Again, beach metal detecting, let me show you this year. CTX 3030 people, I'm talking to you, but I'm sorry, there's just nobody that is using that detector in 2023, or at least showing up in the top beach metal detecting search results with the 3030. So what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to take that list. I'm going to put prices for the various detectors there, and we're going to discuss options for you. All right, so step 1 is we're going to delete the 2 single frequency metal detectors on this list. That would be the Xterra Pro. That would be the Simplex. So let's delete those, and that leaves us with this. Yeah, as for those single frequency detectors, is it possible to detect the salt water with them? Well, is it possible to drink water with a fork? Yeah, it is. It's just not terribly efficient. Cheers. All right, let's get down to business now. We have the prices in, and I put pros and cons here. Keep in mind, it is a very abbreviated version of what I have on my website, iratemetaldetectors.com. So for instance, on my website, you could see that there's capability ratings and there is overall ratings. Overall ratings factor in value. Capability ratings, they kind of take into account depth, separation, sound inference, and such. Look at Saltwater Beach, though. I got it as a 5 out of 5. This is the Deus 2. You get my full thoughts down here. And that is for each detector. You know, you have it all here. You just got to look. Before we go any further, I'm going to ask you, please, pretty please, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to keep this channel growing, keep giving you great content that helps you. All right, so let's go down the list. I'm going to give you my soundbite for each detector or each series of detectors. And let's start with the Minelab Manticore. Minelab Manticore, high capability, excellent ergonomics. I should have really put highest capability. It's between the Manticore and the Deus 2 for highest capability. I give the edge slightly to the Deus 2. I think that the Deus 2 is the most capable detector on the market, in my honest opinion. But they have quirks too. We will somewhat get into those Deus 2 quirks here, but I have a full review of the Deus 2 also on my channel. For the Manticore, not much better than the Equinox, and if you compare that with the Equinox 600, that's $1,000 difference there. It is better than the Equinox series. It is not $1,000 or even $500 better than the Equinox series. Goes a little deeper, separates a little bit better. I guess the inference is slightly better. You get more screens. I still would say the values with the Equinox between those two. We also have the Legend, which really, it hits all of the points that you need. Like, I would say that the Legend is maybe 94, 95% of a Manticore on the beach, maybe 93, 94 of a Deus 2 on the beach. But we'll get to that. So the Manticore is great. It is highly capable. It is also expensive at $1,600. XP Deus 2. Deus 2, I want you to watch my Turks and Caicos videos. Here's the preview. That is a wire that snapped. It is a quirky machine. It has a very difficult learning curve, no doubt about that. But it also has quirks, such as a wire that you have to connect when you dive. And, the other ones have it ready-made, built in. The weight on this machine is spectacular. You will not even feel it. It's like swinging a toy on the beach. It is so good, but there's quirks to this machine. You get like this three-pronged charger where you have to charge the box, the control unit. You have to charge the headphones, and you have to charge the coil. And it's happened to be a number of times the connector didn't work on it, and mid-hunt it just flakes out. But let me tell you, it is a spectacular detector. Capability-wise, it is just highest level. But you have to put up with the quirks. We're going to keep this short here. Again, the full version you could read on my website. There's a reason that on my website, the Deus 2 has the highest capability rating. If I was going to go to war with any one detector, it would be the Deus 2. That's capability. If we factor in value, it is not the best value out there, but it is the most capable machine. Nocta Macro Legend. When I tried the Legend, I was like, holy cow, this feels just like the Equinox. But it blew it away on price, and it didn't have the well-documented leaking issues that the 600 and 800, the Equinox 600 and 800 had. Minelab has since fixed that by coming out with the Equinox 700 and 900, but I think that was largely a response to Nocta Macro making the Legend. There's a reason I have it ranked number 1 on my site, and keep in mind this is value here. Highest capability detector on my website, it's ranked 3rd because of the value equation. But it has capability, don't get me wrong, but the value is just exquisite here. So yeah, capability rating 51.7. And let's see, what did I write about Saltwater Beach? I've been pulling gold rings in challenging conditions. There was an issue early on about it being chatty in saltwater. They added something called stability, and it is highly capable as a beach metal detector. I took points off because I felt in iron environments it was a little bit, it's almost like it's designed to make the user happy, to not pull up iron. But when you're talking about low beaches, you get a lot of iron. But again, they put an iron filter on the detector. They really listen to their customers. And Nocta is a spectacular company. If you're looking for that balance between price and capability, this is your detector. Look no further. Minelab Equinox series. Now, there were 2 polls, 2 data sets that I mentioned before, and the Equinox came out on the top of both of those. Why is that? Well, it's because the Equinox is the archetype for the modern detector. In other words, everybody is trying to emulate the strengths of this detector. Multi-frequencies, what does that mean? What does it even mean? It means big targets, small targets, conductive targets, lesser conductive targets. By sending out multiple frequencies, it's primed for everything. And the other detectors on this list are simultaneous multi-frequency. Also, you can say the Excalibur 2, which we'll get to, which I never swung, which we'll get to. That's the earlier iteration of simultaneous multi-frequency, or multi-IQ. But the Equinox is what everybody is trying to emulate today because it was so successful. You literally saw new treasure because of the way that it separated and the way that it identified and saw everything that was in the dirt or in the sand. This list, let's see what I put. The 600 was the most decorated detector I own. In other words, I found more treasure with this one than any other detector. It has high capability. It is not at the same level, but only slightly below the Deus 2, and the Manticore. You do not want to use it in water. That's the thing. It had well documented leaking issues. That is only with the 600 and the 800. They fixed it with the 700 and 900. I know that's a lot to remember, but those ones are leak proof. Now, 600 and 800, I didn't really see too much difference between the two. You get a gold mode, you get an extra band for multi-frequency, but really this was, the value was with the 600 and still is. If you're going to dunk it under the water, go 700. I might even suggest go 700 over the 600. But, that you're comparing that with the Legend. The Legend is 500, and that's with the headphones, the Bluetooth headphones. But you won't go wrong. I would actually lean, if you go in capability, I would lean Equinox over Legend. If you go in value, I'd go Legend over Equinox. Minelab Vanquish series. Minelab Vanquish series, well, how do I say this? It's an incredible value in that you get the simultaneous multi-frequency, but you get a very, I'm not going to call it a limited level. It's not the Equinox. Let's put it that way. It's a heck of a lot better. Somebody was asking me about a Harbor Freight detector for $150. Oh, heck no. You got the Vanquish starting at under $200. That is so much better. That's a great value right there. But what I also put is slow and clunky. Now, Equinox, lightning fast. Everything else up the list, lightning fast. It's a little bit slower. Slow doesn't matter on the beach. But on land, it's compromised a bit. I didn't like as much on land, but I'm trying to keep this beach. It's a great option for the beach. Even the 340 is a great option at the beach. If you want a entry-level detector, this is your entry-level detector. At $200, you're going to make that up in change. You're going to find the change. It doesn't have the internal battery. I guess you could get rechargeable batteries with it. Some of them come with it. I think the 540 comes with the rechargeable. But the value is here. The capability is higher elsewhere. The meeting spot in the middle is, I would say, the Legend. $499, and you get both the value and you get the performance. Or the Equinox 600 or 700. That's where my decision would be. I'll also point out that the Vanquish is not submersible, so if you're looking to go out in the water and do some detecting, that's not going to happen with this detector. With the Legend, you can. Minelab Excalibur 2. This detector's as close to a cult as I've ever seen in metal detecting. It doesn't matter what comes out. People love their Excalibur. Now, I almost bought one, but I'm not a diver. It's really the divers that love this detector. It is the ultimate dive machine from what I've heard. It's 15-year-old technology. The price is the same as the Manticore. I don't think I'm going to do that. Garrett Ace Apex. It's beast mode on the beach. It's $400 and change for a new Garrett Ace Apex. And all I think is, and it's not submersible. All I think is, if you pay $499, you could get a Legend, and you're good. It canceled that one out. It's also highly mediocre in the park, in the dirt. So I see the value elsewhere. We'll finish this video up with some ranks. Now I have two columns. We have value, we have capability. And Excalibur, that's the one I'm going to just again tell you that's the only one I have not swung out of all of these. So perhaps that one can be a little bit off. But in terms of value, I see the Legend as being number one. I put Vanquish here, even though I think I'd rather get an Equinox. If you're somebody starting out, like, you could really get access to beaches and have a very solid detector with that lower model 340, less than $200. That's why I put it higher on the value than the Equinox series. But I'm somewhere, in terms of the advice I give people, somewhere between value and capability. And I actually would put, you see, I have the in capability, I have the Vanquish all the way down here, and capability and value much higher. So keep that in mind. Equinox, it's like solid across value versus capability here. Let's see, Nocta Macro Legend. Yeah, 1 and 4 versus 3 and 3. So I would kind of advise you to go Equinox or maybe Equinox 700 or Nocta Macro Legend. In capability, I'll give that to the Equinox. In value, I'm giving that to the Legend. If you want a starter beach detector, hey man, go Vanquish. It is better than like Harbor Freight nonsense and all the National Geographic stuff that has like a name but is really not that good. So I hope this helped you, and please hit that like button. Please share. It helps my channel grow. Thank you very much.